lady fellas, F in Real Society, welcome to the Fantasy and Reality Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Tacker. Today in the ridiculously over-decorated studio, we'll be going by division again. We're going to talk NFC East. We're going to jump right into it with the 10-6 Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott should be a good guy to get in the late rounds. Double-digit guy, decently consistent, a good amount of rushing touchdowns each year. You can count on that. He has a decent amount of weapons around him. Even if Zeke doesn't play, I'm not going to sign. I'm upset about Jerry Jones. Either way, if he doesn't play, that means Dak will have to rely on his passing more because I'm not sure about Tony Pollard. I think he's going to do well, but he's obviously not Zeke. Amari Cooper, with his injury, we're not sure if that'll linger, how it'll progress. So that makes, for me, Michael Gallup a lot more valuable in the later rounds. I'm sure that his ADP is going to start climbing up, as everyone usually does, just like Pollard. Even though I believe you could probably get Pollard in the very late rounds or maybe even off waiver wire. Even though everyone knows that he might be the starter, people still might try to get other places of value rather than the starter backup in Dallas. So you could possibly get Pollard somewhere on the waiver wire. Michael Gallup, great guy. I'm looking forward to him. Randall Cobb, Tavon Austin, I don't really think they're going to be big factors, but they could prove to be valuable to Dak Prescott, just not in fantasy football. Jason Witten, the old man, came back. I think he's going to do decent, be a red zone target to Dak like he used to be. You know, that quiet guy that you don't quite see there, that Dak will somehow see, target him, and it'll hopefully end up as a backup tight end for you on your team. Next, at 5-11, the New York Giants. Now, the only two that I really like on this team are Saquon. Obviously, he is going to do Saquon things. He might not be as explosive and get those yards like he did last season. I believe most of his touchdowns either came from beyond 50 yards or inside the 5. So it's either red zone, 10 zone, or an explosive play. I don't think that's going to play into his fantasy value this season. With everything going on, OBJ leaving, and Eli might be out the door, Daniel Jones. We'll see how that progresses. But Daniel Jones could be good in Dynasty. Snatch him up if you can. And hopefully he'll start either mid to late season. Or if Eli just falls completely off, then he might start week 3. The only pass catcher I like on this team is Evan Ingram. Like I said, OBJ left, leaving a lot of open targets. And with Sterling Shepard not being healthy, Golden Tate being on suspension for the first 4 games, this will allow Evan Ingram to hopefully just kill it the first 4 weeks especially. I am super high on him this year. I think he's going to be fantastic. If they throw it to anyone on that team, it should hopefully be Ingram and Saquon. So that's why they're my likes. The 2 quarterbacks there, I don't care for because, like I said, we don't know when they're going to start, who's going to take over when. Sterling Shepard, Russell Shepard, Golden Tate. I don't think that they're going to be as valuable as they were in the past few years because of the injuries and the suspensions. So you might want to stay away from them and get someone more valuable that's going to get more volume, that's going to play more. So that's why they're my dislikes. Next, we have the 9-7 Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz should be fantastic. He has a lot of weapons around him. If he can stay healthy, he should definitely produce. They have a fleet of running backs back there. But my favorite out of all of those is Miles Sanders. I think that he's going to be fantastic if he can get a starting job over everyone else, including Jordan Howard. So if he can get that starting job early on, it'll be better. But I see that kind of lingering in the backfield throughout the entire season of who's going to start, who's going to get more volume, with Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, Wendell Smallwood, Josh Adams, Darren Sproles, everyone else that they have back there. It's going to be a big question mark until they announce, hey, this is our starter. I don't think that I'm going to target anyone except for Sanders in a dynasty league would be fantastic. Just like Montgomery and Singletary, those rookie running backs are going to be very valuable, so try to get them. My boy Djax, I like him. High upside, low floor. If you have a fleet of receivers on your team that are more consistent, Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen, Robert Woods, someone who's going to get the volume consistent. And you can pick a riskier guy later on like Djax, who has like I said, a very high upside. He might get those deep balls from Wentz. Since Wentz has so many targets now, Djax might not be targeted as much, just specifically for those long balls. So he'll get those. It's just how many per game all season. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. Now, I like Ertz, but with Goddard there, it might take away a few more looks that Carson Wentz will give Ertz. I still like him. He's not going to be, I don't believe, in the top 3 tight ends this season like he was last season, but I think he'll still be fantastic. He's Zach Ertz. He should do Ertz things. Now, as for my dislikes, like I said, the rest of the backfield, I'm not too crazy about any of them. Howard, Clement, Smallwood, Adams, Sproles. I'm probably not going to target any of them because, like I said, it's between Howard and Sanders for the starting job. Hopefully Sanders can get it, but we'll see what happens. So I also don't like Nelson Aguilar and Alshon all that much. I think Alshon has accumulated a couple of injuries. It makes me want to stray away from him. Nelson Aguilar just kind of disappears. I think after his contract's up, he might not be on this team any longer. So I'm not liking most of the backfield and those 2 receivers, although I do like the quarterback and tight end. Next up, the 7-9 Washington Redskins. They just announced that Case Keenum is going to be a starting quarterback, which I like. I like Keenum a lot. Haskins, we'll see how that works out with the whole quarterback situation. So if there's any kind of turmoil like that, I try to stay away. If there's not a 100% this guy is going to be the starter for the whole season, then it makes me a bit worrisome. The running back situation, I love Darius Geis, but I'm not sure how he'll perform. He just came back from his injuries and all those complications. So hopefully he can have a great 2019 season. I have high expectations for him. I'm very optimistic, but I want to be real in the fact that he might not be 100% the entire time. Adrian Peterson, I like him. He should do great. If Geis cannot do his duties as a starter, then AP, he'll take the role, do what he can. I also like Chris Thompson as the pass-catching back. I like a lot of pass-catching backs like that. So he'll come in, catch balls, especially in PPR leagues. He should be a good guy that you can get either on the waiver wire or in your last round. If it's in standard, I might stay away from him because, like I said, I think he'll see most of his value from PPR. Now, the quarterback situation, like I said, it's a little wishy-washy. They said Keenum was the starter, but who knows when they'll want Haskins to come in because they spent such a high draft capital on the guy that it's basically inevitable of him starting this season. Dodson, Richardson, Quick, questionable. I don't think they'll have any value. And Jordan Reed bit me last year, has a concussion now, so he might have been a guy that I was becoming more warmer towards, but now that he has that concussion, I'm probably just going to stay away from him. So that was my by division likes and dislikes for the NFC East. Tell me who you liked, who you didn't like. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know down in the comment section with like feedback. As always, thank you for tuning in and thank you for all your support. Leave your feedback, questions, topic suggestions down there in the comment section. We'll try to answer anything and everything that you have. Remember that sports are supposed to be enjoyed together, so please tell someone about us. We're trying to grow this community to help as many people out as we can. And in order to grow that community, you have to smash that thumbs up, hit the subscribe, so we can keep giving you this content as we're trying to hopefully keep on doing. But lastly, God bless America and God bless fantasy football. Take care.